Karate Kid has finally fixed the worst thing about the Daniel LaRusso movies ahead of Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan's team-up. I'm so relieved about one specific aspect of Karate Kid. Legends after being disappointed by all the previous Karate Kid movies. The first Karate Kid movie was released in 1984 and follows Ralph Macchio's Daniel LaRusso, who gets trained by Mr. Miyagi. This may sound strange, since he was the star of 3 Karate Kid films and is an iconic movie character, but Daniel LaRusso is not actually a good fighter. While he won many fights in the first 3 films, Daniel LaRusso never actually impressed me with his fighting skills. Furthermore, Julia Pierce and Dora Parker, the franchise's 2 other Karate Kids, were also not very good fighters. This is disappointing as the franchise is so focused on fighting. However, it seems like this unfortunate streak will end with the upcoming Karate Kid, Legends. Macchio and Jackie Chan, who starred in 2010's The Karate Kid, leave the cast of Karate Kid, Legends, in which they will train Li Fong. Unlike Daniel, Julia, and Dora, it looks like Li Fong will actually be a good fighter in Karate Kid, Legends. While the first Karate Kid movie is iconic and the other films in the franchise are quite entertaining, I've never been impressed with the fight choreography. Because of the franchise's underwhelming choreography, Daniel, Julia, and Dora all seemed like weak fighters. This has made all the films in the series worse, since all these characters are meant to be skilled at karate. However, this thankfully seems like it's going to change in Karate Kid, Legends, which will introduce Li Fong. Based on the trailers for Karate Kid, Legends, it seems like Li Fong will be a skilled fighter. While the first trailer for the film mostly focused on Macchio and Chan's roles, the most recent trailer heavily revolved around Li Fong. In the film, Li Fong will be a skilled kung fighter who will be taught karate by Daniel LaRusso and Mr. Han. Based on moments in the trailer, such as the scene in which he jumped towards a ladder in an alleyway and kicks at someone chasing him, it looks like Li Fong is an impressive fighter. While one would expect the leads of all the Karate Kid movies to be skilled fighters, this is unfortunately not the case. In fact, based on the trailers for Karate Kid, Legends, it seems like Li Fong may actually be the first lead in the franchise who can actually fight convincingly. While several fights in the Karate Kid franchise are iconic, such as the final fight between Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence in the first film, none of them are actually well made. Even the 2010 Karate Kid reboot, the most recent film in the franchise, disappointed me with its fight scenes. Watching Daniel and Dre perform crane kicks in the Karate Kid franchise is always amazing, but there should be more to these fights than just this one move. Unfortunately, fight choreography is not something that the Karate Kid franchise has excelled at in the past, but hopefully this will change in Karate Kid, Legends. In addition to the fact that Karate Kid, Legends seems to have better fight choreography than the previous films in the franchise, it's also reassuring that Ben, who is playing Li Fong, has a martial arts background, is proficient in martial arts such as karate, kenpo, kung do, and taekwondo. None of the other Karate Kids had martial arts backgrounds, which could explain why so many fight scenes in the previous movies are underwhelming. This is not to say that Macchio, Hilary Swank, and Jaden Smith were bad actors in their respective Karate Kid films. Considering they were quite young when they all took on their roles in the franchise, Macchio, Swank, and Smith were all great in their roles. However, it will be nice to watch an actor who has extensive martial arts experience in Karate Kid, Legends. Because of this, I'm confident that the fights in Karate Kid, Legends will be some of the best fights in the entire Karate Kid franchise.